Welcome everyone to episode number 2 of No Warp Gate to Grandmaster. So far we haven't lost a game yet, and that is awesome, especially compared to the Ling Infested to Grandmaster series. We're going to start today off by trying to make the perfect gateway unit only build, and after that we're going to start getting into tech units. The first unit I thought of was the Oracle, but maybe even the Mothership. Who knows? Let's begin. First game of the day is against a Zerg player on Oceanborn. Alright, so in the last episode we did a lot of builds where we basically play a normal build, but extra greedy because we don't need gas for Warp Gate, and we had a surprisingly high amount of supply every single time. So I'd kind of like to perfect that idea first of all. It's going to be a nice warm-up for this episode, see if we still got it, and then afterwards we can start getting into those tech units, so it's going to be very exciting as well. I think first thing that comes to mind is that we can go for a super fast Oracle, like a faster Oracle than normal, because we don't need Warp Gate. Or maybe... Okay, let me try to explain this, right? Actually, I don't want to scout this early. I'll make a gateway first. So normally, if you go Stargate against Zerg, you skip Warp Gate to make the Stargate. So I'm not quite sure if the Oracle's faster, but what I am sure about is that we can play more greedy behind the Stargate, because we're also not going to make, Warp Gate after the Stargate. So that's, maybe going to make sure we have like a super fast third base together with a super fast Oracle. I do have to worry a little bit about being counterattacked if we play with tech units, but that's for the next game. Right now, let's focus on this build. I did make my gas at the normal time. I wonder if I can just use the perfect saturation here. So normally, if you guys don't know, for Protoss builds, you kind of always have 15 on the minerals, I believe, unless you're doing specific stuff. So you have 2 in gas instead of 1. But now, since I don't need the gas that fast, I can just keep the perfect saturation at 16 and just keep rallying into the gas when I don't need them. It's not going to give me too much gas, but it does make sure that, my minerals do flow properly still. Like, I don't need the gas that early, but... I guess if my minerals are perfectly saturated anyway, I might as well. I think I'm even being a little bit greedy here because I made another probe before the pylon, which I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do. Now at this point, okay, this is gonna get interesting. At this point, you should make a second gas. I could also just go for like a super fast third nexus though. I wonder if I could defend that. Like, if I make a third nexus now and then add a second gateway right away, would I be able to defend it or not? I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to take the gas just so I can... Well, actually, it doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to mine. I was going to say, I'm going to try to mine it for a couple ticks until this natural finishes, and then I'll send everything over there. So I suppose I'm either going to go for a third base next, or for an extra gateway first. Actually, I'll be able to mine a couple ticks from that gas, and then I'll rally it over. I don't think going for a second gateway already would make sense, so I'm going to do that now. And I'm just going to wait for this to finish, and I'll rally the probes over as soon as I can. Guess I'll just go scout with 1 adept, and then I'll make a stalker at home. Now that nexus is finished, let me make sure this probe actually stays here. Get this one over here as well, and this one here as well. So this is all in all a relatively optimized build. Like, it could definitely still be better, but I'm not going to be unhappy with this, right? Like, we took out of gas in time. We have our second gateway on the way. We're not going to die to a couple Zerglings walking, which is nice. I should probably be making more adepts instead of Stalker, so I don't die to like a big Link flood or something like that. Okay, so this is Mr. Scout. There is a Zergling, and now I'm already going to be able to take my... Guys, it's 3 minutes in the game, and I'm going to be able to take my third base already. Like, this is actually pretty crazy. Here we go. And then I'm going to make a pylon. Probably there. Seems about nice, so I can kind of, like, tuck the adepts in there. I do feel like every time I'm going to play this challenge, I'm going to need some time to warm up. Let's see, what is the drone count? Drone count looks pretty normal. He has a third base as well. Because it's just so automatic to start Warp Gate, right? Like, isn't it just weird that I'm not starting Warp Gate? Or at least, I guess normally you would wait for your Warp Gate to finish to be warping in more adepts, stuff like that. But maybe I could go for like a Twilight Council. I could do like a really weird Glaives build, like 3 minutes, or more like 3 minute 10. 3 minute 10 third Nexus into Glaives. I mean, why not? I can afford all of this from 1 gas so far. So this is pretty nice. This is going to be saturated. I'll be able to start rallying. Oh, that is going to die. Let's see if I can get one more meaningful scout off. He has a Spore, and he's making an extra gas. Okay, that extra gas could actually be interesting, because that might mean that he is going to go for some kind of roach attack, because otherwise I'm not quite sure why he would need that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure to keep chrono boosting out the units and not necessarily focus on... Wait, where did the overlord... Huh? Yo, oh, dude, how fast is that thing? I swear, I didn't look for a second and it was just gone. Like, it just completely disappeared. So I might even... Should I skip the upgrade? Like, the thing is, if he's going to go for a roach attack, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to defend it with just adepts. do think it's time for me to take another gas here. I'll just take it over here, and then I'll take this one as well, of course, because I still have it hanging. Now, just like usual, I still feel like I have an absolutely incredible amount of supply, by the way. Like, it's 446, and I'm on the third base with almost 70 supply. Like, try to tell me that's not freaking crazy, because I think it's absolutely crazy. And I make a couple batteries there, and this is all based on the information that I had on that second gas. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that he's going to go for an attack. But I guess an extra gas means he has less overall economy with the minerals. So even if he doesn't attack me, I think we're going to be perfectly fine. This adept is more of like a little bit of a scouting squad here. Dude, I feel like we're going to beat some kind of like actual ranked record. Like, I know we're not going to break the record for like, you know, being max as fast as possible, because that's actually like a more specific challenge. But our supply is so freaking high. Okay, he does have drones there, so we don't have to worry about anything. Oh, let me make sure I cancel down. Guess I'll go for a couple more gates into the main. You know, one thing I didn't actually think about, by the way, for this challenge that's going to make it very, very complicated is that Protoss players always complain that they don't have a door, right? Like, you need to keep a unit in the wall against zergling run-bys at all times. Well, now it's going to be even harder, because I'm not going to be able to warp my units outside of the wall. So that's, well, actually, I guess I could rally them in there. So whenever there's a run-by going on, I could just rally them in there. That should be okay. So I have glaives now. Guess we're just going to hit a casual. Look at that, 101 supply at 6 minutes, guys. About to start my fourth phase. Let's just hit a casual, you know, 101 supply timing attack at 6 minutes, because why not? Now, for a second, my brain was considering sending a probe for a proxy pylon, and then I realized, like, wait, but what would that do exactly? Because I can't warp it. Here we go. I would actually be kind of surprised if he's gonna have enough for this, because this is such a weird kind of build that it's just really hard to see someone make enough units for this, right? Like, it's 111 supply, just a couple of minutes in. I'm gonna finish that. This shade is gonna be freaking brutal, by the way. Look at this shade. Oh, that's gonna hurt him so bad. And I guess at home, we're just gonna be producing a bunch more stalkers. Let's get, I guess, another gas here with a Templar Archives. That would be nice. Now I'm going to go into the main with these. He's going for Hydras, which is really nice to see. How many probes do I have? 67 probes. I guess that is not too crazy. Like, I really haven't been too crazy on the probes. I've more just been really crazy on the units when it comes to the supply. He's about to bring all those workers back into the adepts. Man, this build is doing so much freaking damage right now. I'm going to make a bunch of zealots, actually. I feel like zealots, but I'm going to send 2 into the main base. Would that work? I feel like that could actually be quite nice. You guys are going to go in here, and then these two are just going to camp the main base for a while. I'm going to make sure to hold position these here, so they will actually shoot a couple of drones. I'm not going to target all of them, because that would just be a little bit too chaotic. I'm going to shade these back into the natural. Those were finally killed off. And in the meantime, I have an absolutely beautiful army waiting for me here. I should probably make a couple batteries, because gateway units are not known to be the, I guess, strongest defensive entity. I also haven't made any freaking forges yet, by the way. Like, I'm just having a great time doing it like this. Also, I'm gonna make Storm, and we're gonna make Templars freaking one by one from the gateways. For some reason, that really gives me more nostalgia vibes than anything else. Like, making Templars, high Templars, from just gateways, that just makes me feel like I'm playing Brute War, just like my name. You guys didn't realize my name is indeed Brute War in-game. I don't have charge yet. That might be a little bit of a problem. Let's see if I can get some more damage done here. I would imagine that his roaches are on my side of the map. I would actually be pretty surprised if they weren't, because I traded 1,000,000 units to kill 1,000,000 workers. So exactly, there he is. And now, I guess I'll just be activating this. He's starting the batteries, which is really well done by him. Now, wait, he doesn't have roach speed. Guys, wait, did he? You know, he did have a lair. I think he forgot roach speed, guys. Or maybe he was so focused on making Hydras that he didn't get roach speed earlier. Just going to do a little bit of blink micro here. That is something that the Brute War enjoyers sadly do not have. So if there's any Brute War fans in ever played StarCraft, we can now laugh at them. Well, I mean, I did just blink my Stalker into my opponent's face. So maybe it's better for me to not have blink. It's a little dangerous in hands like mine, let's just say it that way. Because I might just suicide my units instead. These adepts are still alive as well. I'm gonna go up to 12 gateways now, I guess. Yes, it is. I wonder if I should be expanding more or making or making more gateways fast, because I think expanding fast would be quite nice. I thought the name would look familiar. Yeah, GG. Glad to be recognized here on Brood War. I feel like I don't usually get recognized on an A too much. It's more on Europe. But there we go. This was a beautiful warm-up game. The strategy looked very, very strong. Admittedly, it still looks like it could die to something like a timing attack kind of thing. Like, if we get attacked by roaches early, I'm not quite sure if we're going to be surviving. But just like those couple adepts and those couple stalkers we have, like, not having warp gate in that scenario would be painful. But that's it for the gateways only. Let's do some tech units. Game number 2 is against Big Game, a Terran player. Now let's see if we can torture him with a no warp gate fastest Oracle into third base, because that was our plan, right? So let's see if we can make that happen. Do I need to do anything specific? I should probably still make the gas at the same time. Actually, I could... You know what I'm thinking about, guys? I wonder if I could play gas first. Oh, it is actually very cool. I think I need to make my pylon here. Let me make the pylon here first. Let's get the placement somewhat down. So if I go gas first, I might not even, like, combined with the warp gate skip, which is 50 gas, I might not even need to make a second gas to go for the Oracle. I wonder if that way I can play one gas Oracle third Nexus. Okay, it sounds really freaking absurd. It also probably would be very, very bad against some kind of Cyclone timing attack, but I guess in that case, we can make like a battery or something, and we'll figure it out. I feel like so far we have done pretty well against the Cyclones. All right, here we go. Gas first. This is pretty much the polar opposite of what we were doing before, at least with the first gas, because before we were either taking the gas way later, or we took it at a normal time and we just didn't saturate it as we normally would, right? But here, I don't even know what the timing of your Nexus is supposed to be. Should I proxy a pylon, guys? Should I make the Cybercore before the Nexus still? That's what you normally do against Terran. And with this challenge, I normally wouldn't, but it sounds like it would be pretty logical, right? I'll go for the core first, and then maybe I can proxy a pylon in time. That'd be awesome. Let's see if we're up against the double gas. There's no double gas, so that is nice. And then I'm just gonna leave. Not because I want to proxy anything. I'm just a nice Protoss player who doesn't want to torture my Terran bros, you know, by attacking their worker over and over. That's the only reason. Now, so far, this build actually seems like it's kind of a vibe, to be honest. Look at this. So I'm going to get the Nexus down now. And then I'm gonna not make another probe. I'll make the pylon instantly. And then I really hope that with the gas first plus the 50 gas, we can actually get an insanely fast... Oh, this could be... I feel it, guys. This could be our new mainstay build. You guys know how early in the series I always try, you know, to figure out the build of the future pretty much. This one has some potential. I don't want to jinx it 100%. I mean, I've kind of done that already, to be honest, but I feel like there's definitely a lot of potential. Look at this Stargate timing. 2-minute 10 Stargate on my opponent's side of the map. Now, I almost started Warp Gate, like, automatically, because that's what you normally would do. I wonder if I should make a Zealot. Like, I'm kind of looking at how slow the gas is going up. I feel like if I make another gas unit, I'm not going to be able to afford the Oracle. At least not if I make a Stalker. If I make an Adept, maybe. Should I get another gate? No, I'm really just going to go for like the ultra fast freaking third Nexus. I'm actually excited. This looks like it's going to work. I don't need a pylon yet, which is nice. My opponent hasn't scouted with a Reaper, which does make me a little bit suspicious. He's definitely going to feel weird when he sees I have Zealots, because that's not what you're supposed to be doing, guys. You're not supposed to be making a Zealot this early. Look at the timing. I had 3 gas left. Oh my goodness. That is actually so freaking perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and take this. I should... Well... I was going to say I should probably make a Stalker, but I didn't really want to wait for it. So here we go. 210 proxy Stargate, 310 third Nexus, guys. What a freaking build this is. Now, guys, before we all get excited, there is a chance that my opponent just has like a freaking Widowmine chilling there, or a Cyclone or something, you know? So we're going to have to see how this is going to work out. Let's see. Nothing so far. Is there a Widowmine here? It doesn't look like it. And I'm just going to start beaming. He's making a starport here, which is kind of funky. Let's see. I can kill those Marines for sure. Well, not all 5 of those, but I can kill a couple. And then, I mean, this is making this look like a heavy pressure, but in reality, I have like the fastest third Nexus ever. And my opponent doesn't have a Stargate yet, or a starport yet. He was just building that. Let's see, where's the factory? Okay, this does... that does kind of look like he could be hitting some kind of timing attack, so maybe I should focus on pure gateway unit production. I do suspect my follow-up setup, like not the entire build, but the follow-up setup could be perfect for this, because I'm not going to take any more gases. I'm just going to be spamming units, including Zealots as well, which could totally help me out here, but I guess we'll just have to see. I'm definitely going to need a couple batteries. Maybe I should make even another gateway here. I'm going to go up to 5 gateways, because why not? I already have 3 Nexi anyway. I don't necessarily have something to worry about too much. Let's see what he's building from here. That is making a unit without making an add-on, so that's obviously pretty notable. There's the first tank. We were already expecting that, of course, and now I'm going to start making a couple Zealots. My natural's already saturated. Now we're going to start saturating the third base. Dude, I swear, so far, both the Raven Widowmine to Grandmaster series and this series, it looks like my builds are just better than normal. Like, these builds all just look insane. Like, if you look at the supply, if you look at the economy, if you look at the harassment tools and stuff that I had, this stuff all looks freaking mental, I have to say. Now we're gonna kill even a couple more workers. I wonder... Okay, I was going to say, I wonder if the Marines are across the map, but they're still there for now. Since he has a medevac, I'm going to use Revelation. And that's just going to show it to me when he drops too soon, right? Like, that's just going to show it to me. So that's an easier way for me to deal with harassment, I suppose. And we're going to go back into the main. I don't know. Well, I have the energy to kill... Wait, oh no, you should have been paying attention to the energy. I have the energy to kill one worker if I really wanted to. I don't think it would have been worth it, so I'm going to let that one slide. My third base is almost saturated, which I guess means it's time to take a fourth base as well. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just crazy, but I'm starting to convince myself that this is better than playing normal Protoss because it's just looking so freaking good. This Oracle didn't even get that many kills. Like, I got 3 kills early on for a proxy Oracle, which is really not that crazy. My opponent has Stim now, so that is something I do need to note. I think I'm gonna need a couple more gateways as well pretty soon, so let me just build those now. Here we go, gonna go up to 8 gateways. I'm a little afraid that this base gets dropped. Like, keep in mind, that is one of the biggest disadvantages of not having warp gate, right? Like, I'm not gonna be able to warp in defensively to stop a drop, for example, from happening. Now, he's still at home. Well, actually, no, he could be moving out. He had more Marines than this. Guess it could be time for me to make a Twilight Council as well. Okay, he's still alive. He's definitely moving out with a drop because he had more units than that. I am quite sure of it. Maybe it's time for me to actually make some gases, guys, because I'm not gonna be able to make enough Stalkers. I was also thinking of making a Twilight Council, but I don't have gas to make that at all. You know what is pretty nice about this challenge as well to play? Is that it's very obvious what you're supposed to be chronoing. Like, normally there's just like a big mess because people don't usually like chronoing their warp gates just to, you know, speed up the cooldown. But here, it makes so much natural sense to be chrono boosting your freaking gateways, right? Because that's your, you know, entire production. Oh, let's see if I can get one more. Okay, we're gonna get one more. Can I get that one as well? Or are we too greedy? No, we did get it. Oh my god, this Oracle does have 11 kills by now. Gonna get another one here as well. I wonder if my opponent's gonna attack me at some point and then run into, like... Look at my supply, guys. 7 minutes, 134 freaking supply. And that's after doing a proxy Oracle. Try to tell me that's not freaking crazy. I really think it's crazy. I say it every game again, but it's just freaking insane. I'm gonna start saturating this base over here. He sees my army now. Now, I don't have charge, so that is like the biggest problem of all of this. Just make sure to not lose the Oracle. I guess I'll just kill the tanks first. Dude, even though I don't have charge, it is so many zealots that he's forced to run away. That is actually so funny. Like, it looks so weird to be fighting this without charge. Let's see if I can get on top of the medevacs. That's usually what you want to do with your Stalkers in this case. There we go. So now every time he stims, it's gonna hurt like hell pretty much. That's the plan. Yeah, if he stims again now, he's just gonna be out of HP pretty much. Like, he can't fight this anymore. There's enough Stalkers. I can turn on the battery overcharge. Let's see if I can block this actually. Oh, we did get the block off, which is quite nice. He can still kind of walk through. He could have targeted the pylons as well. Didn't quite have the clarity of mind instantly. And now, sadly for him, he's going to be running into my freaking fourth base, and he's not going to be happy seeing that. I can guarantee that to you guys. I've been in his shoes before, guys. Thinking you're doing pretty well with a push, you're trading kind of evenly, and then you run into a Protoss 7th base. It's not very pleasant. Let's just put it that way. It's definitely not very pleasant. Now, I did make my Twilight Council. Let's get charged first. I'm going to take the gold base as well as my 5th. Well, that's actually... not really a gold base. It's like a semi-gold base, I suppose. This game, by the way, is a very good example of how good Oracles are if you keep them alive for a long time. Like, knowing myself, I'm going to lose it pretty soon because it's past the early game, and that's when I usually start getting a little messy. But this Oracle has provided me so much freaking value. Like, it has 15 kills. I got the Revelations. I got the Scouts on everything. Like, this Oracle has actually been freaking awesome. Now, I do have to figure out when the hell I should make forges. The main reason, if you guys are wondering why I haven't been making forges, is just because I'm not really taking gases, right? Like, I don't really have enough gas to be making... Like, if I was going to make upgrades, I would be making freaking charge and blink instead, right? Now, even now, after I lost like a ton of units, I'm still very close to max at 9 minutes, so I do think... You know, if you wanted to, you could probably make some kind of world record playing gateway only. I don't know. It just feels freaking crazy. Let's see. I have a lot of zealots without charge. Let's see if I can get the medevacs again. Same thing as before. There we go. And then as soon as the zealot buffer runs out, we back off. I guess my charge is going to finish pretty soon. I might as well wait for that. I don't think I really have to. Actually, I'll bait another stim here first. I think that's smart, exactly. So he stims again. I'll put down a stasis over there that he might walk into. And that would probably... Oh, yeah, there we go. And that is going to be the game, I think. Now I'll be able to blink over. I guess I'll just surround him from... Well, I guess I'll just surround him with the Zealots, first of all. This guy's probably wondering, how many freaking tools does Protoss have to be able to do all this stuff? Like the Oracle, the 5th Nexus. Like, I'm going crazy over here. I'm going to take a 6th Nexus as well, just because it suits the build. I do like the rate of expanding in this game. That army is going to be completely surrounded. He has a tank. I'm going to blink. Oh, I don't have blink. Never mind. I thought I was going to say I'm going to blink forward, kill the tank, and then the medevac. The blink there is not going to happen. The rest of that is, though, because we cleaned it all up, and now with charge, we are going to be able to move across and finish this game. At least I think so. That might be the hardest thing, actually. Actually, I don't need that pylon. I forgot. Like, I can't warp in anyway. Normally, well, maybe for battery purposes, I do want the pylon over there. But normally, I finish games with a warp prism. You can just warp it in your opponent's face, and that's the way you win games. But here, I'm not going to be able to do that. So maybe I should play more an economic-focused game rather than, you know, trying to end games like this. Here, obviously, after a couple failed attacks by him, we were going to be massively ahead, but otherwise, you know, we might have some trouble doing this. And if you look at the supply, guys, we are still max. GG has to be called by big game. And there we go. All right, so in game number 1, we played gateway units only. Here we went for the proxy oracle build, and I think you guys will agree with me. This build 100% looked the strongest. Now, I don't think we can do this in any other matchup. Like, I think in PvP, we'll still have to spam gateway units early on. In PvZ, we might be able to get away with it, but it might be better to build it at home. But this build against Terran actually looks freaking insane. I do think, judging from this game, by the way, if I were to make improvements, is that I have to make at least a second gas earlier just for the Twilight upgrades, because in the fights, not having charge and not having blink did make the fights a little bit inefficient. Like, my army was probably plus 50 supply every time we fought, but it was still kind of a struggle, so I do need to get a second gas earlier for Twilight upgrades. But that's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed these experiments, enjoyed this episode of the challenge. If you did, give a video a like, subscribe to the channel, and to see you all for the next one. Adios.